How you doing, Andrew?
What's up,
Good to
Jake?
see you. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
All right, so.
Where am I looking?
Yeah, right here.
All right.
So they asked you 2 questions in 2 hours. That's an average of 1 question per hour. Was that fundamentally unfair?
Well, I certainly could have used more airtime and had a lot more to say, but I'm just thrilled I have another opportunity in July in Detroit. And thanks to people like you, like not just July, but also September, October, we're just about to pass the 130,000 donor threshold. I'm already at 2% plus in national polls. So I'm with you. I really would have loved more questions and more airtime, but I've got 1, 2, 3 more bites of the apple. And so the American people just found out a little bit about me tonight.
So if there was anything else you could have told the American people tonight, what would it have been?
Well, it's like on a lot of the big issues they're talking about, $1,000 a month would be a game changer for so many American families. You talk about education, a lot of the academic outcomes are being determined by like how much money families have in the home. It's like stress levels in the home, parental time with a kid, parental words read to the child when they're young. And that's the kind of thing that schools have a really hard time providing, but you put money in the family's hands and that'll help. It'll also help address the systemic inequality that's leading to some of like the terrible police problems that we have around the country, because we're dealing with communities that have lower access to capital and education and jobs. You put $1,000 a month into each of those people's hands, and you're pumping tens of billions of dollars every year into communities that would then create tens of thousands of jobs and make those communities much more resilient when it comes to things like police misconduct, because there'd just be less of a need. And so, these are some of the big themes that I wanted to put out there, just saying, look, $1,000 a month helps solve a lot of these other problems.
And would you take back the $2 trillion tax cut that Trump gave the rich?
Oh, yeah, the $2 trillion tax cut was such a farce. I mean, you look at the numbers, the majority of that went to corporate shareholders. And right now, the big problem in American life is you think, and this is the fiction we're still maintaining, is that if you somehow increase a company's profitability, then they're going to go on and like hire a bunch of people and invest in the community. It's going to, like, that's just not the way it works anymore. At this point, you increase the company's bottom line, they're not going to hire any more people. They're not going to invest a lot of it. They're just going to pump it right to shareholders. That's exactly what happened with the Trump tax cut, and I would 100% repeal it. It's one of my first actions.
Andrew, are you worried that the other candidates are not going to really bring change? Because you're proposing a lot of bold change. They're working more around the edges. Are you worried they're not going to get anything done if they become president?
That is my great fear, Cenk, because the danger is we play like you failed and I failed and you failed and I fail. And one of the things that a friend of mine, I'm not much of a poker player, but this poker player said this to me. He said, one of the worst hands you can get in poker is like a good hand, because then you stick around and then you lose bigger. It's like the fact is our way of life is disintegrating underneath our feet. We need big changes to address those problems, and that's why I'm running for president.
Thank you guys.
And I love the young Turks in particular, and I owe you guys one.
Okay, thank you.